Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Okay. So, everybody in the class, hello, Charit. Hello, Himavan. Good to see you. Yeah, Preetam. Good evening, ma'am. Okay. Hey, Neha. All right. So, the other day we ended on the support type of questions, right? So, yeah. Let's see how many of you have attended. Okay, most of you, I guess. All right, seems like everybody are busy. Are you logging in, plugging in, settling yourself? Do that faster. Hello, Bhavan, Ashish, Rohan is here. Sahasra, okay, so most of you are like all the same old students. Viraj, Tanushree, Prisha. Okay, so just be active, and if you have any questions with this, these are a bit challenging ones. The concept is absolutely clear. You just need to identify the claim or the main idea the question is asking, and you have to either support it. In support, it's always like adding a little information to strengthen it. And weakening is like talk something opposite, search for anything that's contradicting or neutral. That's it. So many of us are lost with those science-based and literature-based complex structures, and you often end up feeling this is difficult, but it's not exactly. So let's see some of that, which I guess last week we have done some of that. Support, I guess. Huh. So few I have right now. So for support, this is, have we done this? Yeah, it seems so. We have done this. Okay. Let's do support type. Now, what exactly is support? Yes, how many of you understood support of a claim? What exactly support means? Yeah. So basically, support is all about, let's say there is a claim and the option. Here is a claim. Claim can be the idea, okay, or a hypothesis. Just after the word hypothesis, you need to immediately, or when you find the word suggests. After that suggests or describes, anything that comes after the end of the describes, suggests, and all those words, you have, that's your claim. Okay, why describes? Okay. So anything that comes after these wordings, you have to identify it as your claim. Claim means the idea or the thought that the student have made some experiment and he's coming up with a claim, and he's asking if it is true, what is that that can strengthen his claim or his idea. So based on the strength, I mean the support word, you have to add additional information or something that makes it more closer. Let's say this is my claim, and the options you have to look for is that can uh, close the gap. Okay. And if it is, this is for the strengthening aspect. What if it, the question is asking to weaken or undermine? If the word is undermine, it's pretty simple. You need to widen the gap. Opposite. How do you widen? Maybe by finding answer which is opposite, or maybe something that's contradicting, or something that speaks absolutely opposite or neutral. Okay. So nothing is going to strengthen it. In fact, it's speaking something opposite. Okay. There are some people in our life, right, who often end up speaking opposite. You want to go to Goa, go Goa, go Goa. Oh, sorry, you're not Goa. Something else. So you want to party somewhere, but there's definitely one of your friend who will say, you show the right, they show the left. So do anybody have such kind of friends? Bless you. You need extra ounces of patience with these people, right? This is something like that. All right. Guys, say something in the chat. So God, I feel so like an orphan here. Okay. So I guess I'm audible just to make myself assured because none of you are answering anything in the chats. Hello. Wait. Kushal, am I audible? Ketan, Yash Ravya, am I audible? Great, fine. Sure. So, Bekar, I was getting this tensed. Oh, good. Good to know. So now we'll work on few more support questions because I think the last class wasn't up to my standards. Like I was not really keeping up well, but let's see some of the questions. I think you got the context now. Let's move on to this we have done. Okay, do this. But before that, I want to have an assurance that you guys really picked up what's the meaning of the claim and what do we need to strengthen it. Before you answer, please put that in the chats. What is your inference? Okay, what is the claim here? And what are you expected to do if you are supporting the student's hypothesis? Okay, I want to see your process. Why some of you, like I got some of your messages that I didn't understand. So I feel I have not, I feel that I didn't justify my session the last discussion. I sense it. No answers, please. I want to see, this is exactly why I don't like showing you the answers. Why D? Huh? Why D? What is the claim here? The student writing a history paper, however, okay, why am I reading? As a monthly newsletter formed in so group of Asian American students at the University of California, Los Angeles, GIDRA, helped raise awareness about social political issue concerning the Asian American communities on campus and large. So there's talking about some newsletter. Okay. Next, here comes my actual thing. The newsletter had an expansive, means a very wide range of reach for a publication of its kind. And they have some statistics also, the number they have given. Okay. Were published each month. Okay. Each month they were published. Now here comes the claim, a student writing history paper, however, okay, however means should go opposite, okay. Then it makes sense. We have two things, that 4,000 copies being published every month. However, the hypothesis is Gidra's influence cannot be measured by the number of newsletters published monthly alone. So the influence, so the popularity is not just, yeah. So here they're talking about the popularity thing. And he's saying it is not just because of the monthly alone. So the popularity of the paper newsletter is not just by monthly alone. So what are you supposed to find if it is not the popularity, that is not just by the monthly alone? So there should be some other factor, right, that can support this so-called claim, correct? Acha. So everybody are busy in ABCDs. None of you are, going with the context that I'm asking here. So you should look out for. So what are you supposed to look out for? The hypothesis says, however, yeah, there were 4,000 copies published every month. We get it. But the student has come up with a new hypothesis or a hypothesis. Wait a minute, this so-called publicity is not just only by this monthly alone. You cannot just simply measure this popularity by only month-long publications. Okay. So what is it that justifies this claim, that can support this claim? So the student who initially formed Gidra each contributed financially. My God, this is about popularity, right? Not about funding. Am I right? Yes, students, am I right? It's about popularity. Yes, dear. Very good. So there should be some other factor that is increasing its popularity. It's not just only the monthly alone. So funding is definitely not our case. Okay. So A, cross out. So those who mark A, please go through this step-by-step process of understanding things. In addition to covering current events, why do we need to talk about literature and all this? These are off topic. Gidra was initially based out of, this is about the location, my dear. Some who have marked, who was that? Prita, this is about location, but we are talking about the, what is the claim? The claim is about being expensive, being popular, being for the only each month. But however, there is something else other than this 1 month of publication. So what is that factor? Here you go. People would often give their copies Gidra to others. Yes. So this increase of publications is not the only thing. Why is this so-called newsletter big hit? Is because it's been exchanged. The copies of Gidra to others, once they have finished reading, they were actually sharing it. So the sharing also led to the increase of its popularity. Okay, that's fine, dear. Now you got it. Well, that's correct, Manikanta. Very good. So they're basically exchanging and thus it is increasing its popularity. Am I clear? That's supporting our claim. Clear? All right. No worries. Don't cry. Now, let's talk about the weakening claim. What did I tell about weakening? For supporting, you first read the claim, or it can be called as hypothesis, or whatever comes after the word suggested that, or come up with Sarah hypothesized that. First, understand the claim, okay? And then, whatever you are trying to boil down to a summary, to that summary that you have come across, you made a summary, you just have to find something opposite to that. Like until now, you are strengthening, you have to weaken it now. So it basically asks you to identify an answer choice that would give what? That comes up with a statement or an argument likely less likely to be true. The key is to find the option that directly contradicts or weakens the original claim. This step everybody will do. You are very positive, but somebody will always be there who will try to pull you down. Okay, no, you are wrong. All the time you are wrong, and all the time they are right. Okay, now here's your question. Just be careful. Don't fast enough. Give me the process. Tell me what process you adapted, and then tell me, like, what is the claim here? What exactly is the claim? Oh, oops, something messed up. Wait. Wait, students, I've closed the share right now. Let me share it again. Okay. Oh, this is not opposite. Oh, if true, would most directly support it. Okay. This is a support-based question. Do it. Let's go to the next one later. First, do this support one. Feel something is contradicting with this question. So what is the claim? Anyone? First, give me the process. Huh? Don't give me the answers. This is not like checking your answers. I want to say why A, B, C, D from your uh, understanding. I can, conclude that you got your answer correct. Okay. Explains. Okay. But why is it B, dear? What does it say? So many musicians and journalists in English-speaking country began to draw attention to music from around the globe. Okay, I don't need this. Such as from the South Africa and Quan Ho from Vietnam. Okay, these two things. Okay, from this music from South Africa and the from Vietnam. That can't be. Okay, please circle these things. You can't, skip over these clues can't be easily categorized according to British and North American popular music genres, typically referred to as world music. So what exactly is trying to tell us? That you can't categorize these two music under world music, simply putting them under world music. Like under one umbrella, they're saying it is world music. While some scholars, okay, welcome this development for bringing diverse musical forms to prominence in countries where they would previously been overlooked. Musicologist claims, okay, here comes our claim. This is what we need. That the concept of world music homogenizes. Okay, quickly find the meaning of homogenize. Homogenation, homogenize. Yes, yes, Dhara, that's correct. That's a good one. Okay, find me what is homogenize and how does it affect our answer choices. Homogenize means what? Homo, same. Yes, Bhavan, good. Very good. Exactly. So putting everything under, so they are claiming that you can't put everything under one umbrella of world music. Okay, making them sound similar. They're not similar, they're different. Highly distinct traditions by reducing them into single category. So you can't do that. Okay, now let's see if any of these options are supporting Zhang's claim. Significantly more popular. This is not talking about popularity. We are talking about putting those two music into one category. Okay, developed independently. Yes, of each other and have little common musically. However, answered B, that's correct. That's correct. Good way of checking. Yes, similar, Ashish. Very good. Similar, generalized. So our answer is B. Correct. And why not C and D? As you got your answer, we are talking about putting under one umbrella of general category or single category, which we shouldn't be doing it. There are two distinct type of musics, right? From two different regions. All right, so this is diverse array of musicians. They're talking about musicians, but we are talking about music here with no direct connection. Oh my God, that we have connections. So contradictory, completely different to what we are trying to check our answers for. Okay, let's move on to another type. How do we approach the undermining type of questions? Clearly identify the first, pinpoint what exactly the claim is. It can be a theory or a proposal, or what specific idea are they asking to weaken. Okay, just be careful because weakening questions are not like you can directly find your answers. And they are less, of course, you won't find them quite often, but still we will be learning all types of questions. So you will directly watch out for the options that are opposite, as I've already mentioned. So look out for that statement that clashes head on with the passage point. Whatever claim you have dumb summarized, that should, and the option should be quite opposite. Rule out irrelevant options. That means quickly eliminate answers that do not actually weaken. So whichever answer is supporting that, there you go, that should be eliminated, right? Then you have choose the options that, if true, most powerfully challenges and weakens the original claim. It's about finding the most direct and impactful counter evidence. Okay, right. So as tips, generally this is how I teach for how to weaken questions. You just have to watch out for three of these options, maybe something else. So when you have A causes B kind of situation, then there are three things that can weaken the question, like either something else other than B is causing the effect, or maybe A happens even without, sorry, B happens even without A. Maybe A and B are not really connected. So these are like different ways to weaken a given claim. Okay, so watch out for that, and you will not get this directly. Okay, support you can easily find, but these are like multiple ways they will try to give you as options so that you can contradict the given claim. Okay, some examples. Try this out. Tell me what is the claim first. I'm not going to announce your answers whether correct or wrong, but I wish to know the process, how you're taking up understanding the concept. Yes. What happened? Everybody on silent mode? What is happening? Huh? So what's the claim? A news. Okay. So what is it? This is a widely accepted regular exercise benefit to your heart. Okay. This is a commonly accepted statement, universally known. Study after study confirms. Okay. What does it confirm? That people who exercise regularly have lower risk of heart disease. Very popular statement. However, okay, I'm just identifying the word however because there can be a change over here. The cause and effect will always be there. You know, you have to come up with an effect that is called opposite. Recent research is beginning to ask if there's such a thing as too much exercise. Achha, okay. A new study suggests that while moderate exercise is definitely healthy, pushing yourself to extreme endurance level might actually strain your heart, potentially causing problems down the line. Achha. Anything excess is always harmful, right? This is also a well-known statement. So until now, it was like exercise, so it is beneficial for your heart. But wait a minute, the recent research is saying it's okay. There's no such thing like too much exercise, but if you keep on doing excessively, you will die. Okay. Now, what is that statement that goes contradicting the given statement? Yes, most people don't do extreme endurance training anyway. Not exactly. We're not talking about endurance here. Moderate exercise is good for your mind as well as your for body. This is gibberish. Opposite. It's not opposite. Athletes who do extreme endurance training aren't more likely to have heart problems than people who are moderately active. What say, guys? Huh? I need something that is opposite to the statement. Let's see. How many of you went for C? Oh, everybody are chasing C, riding on C. Very good, Bhavan. Very good. See, I love what you like. Seriously, it's very good to see your explanations because then I get assurance. Okay, you're really catching up with the flow. So Bhavan says because this answer directly contradicts, so that this answer is C. That extreme endurance exercise might strain the heart. If athletes engaging in extreme training do not show higher incidence of heart problems compared to moderately active individuals, it weakens the argument that extreme exercise is harmful. Phew. Very good. See, this has to be the way, not just A, B, C, but this doesn't work. I want to see the process. Yes, everybody, you're all doing good, but make sure that you text something and I understand what way, in which way you think C is correct. The new study only looked at small number of athletes, so we cannot really say if it applies to everyone. No, it's a statement already made. Why D is wrong? Oh, see, this is the point that I want people to ask. So new study only looked at, is there any specifics over here? They're talking about small numbers, big numbers. They have chosen a group of people or just 10% of people. Are there any quantifiers here? They're simply saying that recent research is beginning to ask if there's such a thing as too much exercise. So until now, exercise. But what happens when some people do too much exercise? It has nothing to do with the group, madam. So it has nothing to do with the quantifier. So hence D is not your answer, Tanushri. Okay, everybody clear? Very good. So let's do some more and then we'll move to the graphs. Today I wanted to do graphs. Okay, do this. Let's see. Undermine question. That means weakens the support. Sorry, weakens the claim. So let's dump some rice. Let's see. If the, what is it? The metabolic rate when an asteroid struck because high metabolic rate is one of the key advantages. Okay. So what's the claim here? Would undermine the genetic paleontologist's proposal. Yes. When it comes to mass expense. Okay, what did they propose? Birds survived while non-avian dinosaurs did not because of birds' increased metabolic capacity. So let's say metabolic capacity, if it is high, chances of surviving the mass extinction will also be, yeah. What would be your analysis here? Okay. So what does it say? Dinosaurs, with the exception of the ancestors, birds disappeared during mass extinction. Okay. So the point is, long back, this mass extinction happened 65 million years ago when the so-called asteroid struck the Earth. And then what happened? Why? Why did this happen? And you have to say something opposite to this why. Opposite, not B. Don't give me a reason. The reason should itself be opposite. A high metabolic rate has generally been suggested as one of the key advantages when it comes to surviving mass extinctions. So if there is a high metabolic rate, that is going to be an advantage when it comes to the surviving of mass extinctions. Some genetic, okay, now here comes the claim that birds survived while non-avian dinosaurs did not. The reason is birds increased metabolic capacity. Yeah, what was the claim? What was the clause? If the metabolic rate is high, then the surviving mass extinctions will also be. So the metabolic capacity should all be a highest advantage. Okay. That's why the birds survived and the avians, non-avians like dinosaurs completely got extinguished. So what could you come up with? Many dinosaurs with higher metabolic rates went extinct 2065 millions years ago. So those who marked D, you got only two ways to contradict this so-called claim. Okay. And what is it? Many dinosaurs with very high metabolic rates went extinct 65 millions years ago. Okay. It was not disappeared during a mass extinction, but okay, because that would undermine the genetic paleontologist proposal. Yes, we are trying to come up with the opposite of the given claim. Okay, so your answer is D. Is it the same one? No. What? Oh, okay. Yes, so I have this higher the metabolism, higher the rate of living. Very good. That's correct. But that is the claim, my dear. If the capacity is high, chances of survival is high. Or you can also come up with the conclusion that if the metabolic capacity is high, there will not be any effect on the chances of survival. Two things you can have, opposite or neutral. Yes. Come on, what is happening? So basically, these avians lost smell, okay, because they were too much relying on their eyesight. Yes. How many of you marked A? Yes. What is the claim here? So what is the neurobiologist saying? They're saying that birds gave up on smell in favor of improved eyesight. That was the claim, right? This notion means this idea becomes so pervasive that it was once repeated to avian expert, a fact of prominent neurobiologists. What was I will talk? As a result, many scientists concluded these creatures gave up smell in favor of improved eyesight. Now you should speak something opposite to that. They gave up, right? But what is, you have to come up with something they didn't give up. Either they have both, they have adapted for both, or they completely doing something else. Why is the chat so dull today? Everybody are overthinking. Yes, right. So basically, you're looking for something that should contradict the claim. What is the claim? That the birds gave up smell in favor of improved eyesight. So, which is that one which is supporting the claim? Yes, yes, Dhavan, that's correct. Why Dhara? Why is it C? Okay, once read your answer. What is it? What's your answer? Okay, so this is because, so Bhavan says it's A, which is right. The reason is the presence of these proteins directly contradict the idea that birds lack sense of smell due to small olfactory bulbs. See, what do we need here to contradict? They have concluded that they have both, because their eyesight was developed or improved, they lack the sense of smell. So there should be something that should contradict that claim. What is the claim and what is the contradiction? An analysis of avian genomes revealed the presence of proteins that bind to odors and relay or signal to the brain. Why B is not correct? The number of olfactory neurons is much smaller in birds than the most of other animals. We are not, B is basically supporting the claim, right? The number of olfactory neurons is much smaller in birds than the most other animals means that is the reason why the sense of smell has been reduced. So B is basically supporting the claim, not going opposite to the claim. The odors that birds depend on for food. So, okay, that's off topic. Birds sometimes overlook strongly scented prey in favor of animals that are more visually striking, not really. Okay. So we are left with A, which is undermining the given statement. Okay, sure, Dhara. Right. So an analysis of avian genomes revealed the presence of proteins that bind to odors and relay a signal to the brain. So what was the claim? The claim says that birds lack sense of smell, and some birds' olfactory bulbs are relatively small because it has reduced. They lack sense of smell because their olfactory bulbs have been relatively small or maybe dysfunctional also here. And therefore, the scientists concluded that creatures gave up on smell in favor of improved eyesight. Since their bulbs, the olfactory bulbs are very small, hence they lack sense of smell. Now they are started to relying more on the improved eyesight. Got it? Now, what could be that statement that goes opposite to the claim that they lack sense of smell and they are more with the improved eyesight? What statement will that go opposite to that? So basically, they should have both. Okay, that could go opposite, right? So lack of sense of smell. But what goes opposite? They have sense of smell. That's exactly what this presence of proteins is talking about. They have those proteins that are actually relevant to the odors. Okay. However, they're not that much used. So even though the bulbs are there, they are small, hence they are not using it. They're relying more on improved eyesight. So the option you are making, okay. So lack of smell, no, you have to speak something that is there. Okay, opposite to select means something you should produce as something is there. Clear, everyone? Okay, that was an explanation to Dhara. Okay, directly challenges. Okay, challenge means, okay, let's not do this today. We'll work on the data-based questions. Let's see how much time we are left with. We'll go with 2 questions with database questions and let's see how we work with it, okay? Since we are running little, I have to close the session after 5 minutes. So, okay, so how do you work with the data questions or infographic questions? You have our data of varieties. You have a histogram, like proper bar diagrams. You have tabular charts. You have pie charts also. And it is not mathematic related. Okay, don't worry. Those who have aversions for math, don't worry. They're not that relevant here. Until unless you really want to confirm, you should not look at the data. Okay. Your job is to serious. Viraj, you can check from the questions that I'm sharing. Plus, you can start from doing that from Khan's Academy or Erika Milzer that I've already shared in the group. Okay. This applies to everyone, not just Viraj. For everyone who have questions like, ma'am, questions, some I've already sent. I don't know if you have opened it or not. Just go through them. And some are already there in your Khan's Academy. You need to complete that first, then move on to Erika Milzer, then you can do Princeton. Okay. And some questions that I'm already sending. So how do we work with the infographic or database? There are a variety of data that has been shown. Your job is only to work with the claim. Okay. Once that's justifies and the options are almost there. Just to confirm, you will go to the data or given the given graph. So first, what do you do? Read the question, pay all the attention of what is it illustrating, what is it asking us to find, what is the support that he is asking. Okay, the same method like how you have done for the previous ones. Your job is to identify the claim. What is the claim? What did he theorize? That because skim milk is whole milk that has been run through centrifuge to separate out all the fat droplets, it would likely to have less fat content, but higher sugar content than would be unsweetened oat milk. So the question is asking you to support the scientist hypothesis using data from the table. That's number one. We just identified that. And then you move on to understand the passage. What does the passage say? What is the hypothesis? Yes, he has theorized. What did he theorize? That because skim milk is a whole milk that has been run through the centrifuge to separate out all the droplets. You know the whole milk, they are full of fat. And the centrifuge is used to separate out all the fat droplets. It would likely to have less fat content. Okay, less fat. But, okay, here's a contrast. Higher sugar content than would unsweetened oat milk. So fat is less, but the sugar content is high. Than whom? The so-called unsweetened oat milk. Okay. Now, did you get the claim? So you have to justify using this data. Why do we need data? We already know if it's check out from the options itself. The skim cow's milk have high sugar content than fat content, but it also contains more sodium. So, so you're looking for the skim milk that has less fat content but higher sugar content than unsweetened oat milk. Yes, the skim cow milk has higher sugar content than fat content. No, both the skim cow's milk and the unsweetened oat milk sodium content were over. Is it? Both skim cow milk and unsweetened oat milk. You can compare here. But from the options also you can get. Just for confirmation, you can look out from the given data. So the unsweetened oat milk has lower sugar content. Yes. But higher fat content than does the skimmed cow's milk. Okay, let's see. That's what exactly right. The skimmed milk, which was centrifuged, is less fat. Now look at the graph, the table also. For the skim milk, it's 0 fat, and unsweetened oat milk, it is 1.5. So your option is, do you think D is consistent with the table? So this unsweetened oat milk has lower sugar content, which is 4 grams. Here, look at this. Okay. And our skim cow milk is 12. Sugars are high, right? That's what our claim says. Yes. Everyone, you got it. So the claim is clear. The claim is clearly talking about the oat milk. Unsweetened oat milk has lower sugars, but the one which is centrifuged was having more sugars, but fat is less. The same consistently you can see here in the table also. Unsweetened oat milk, sugars are 4 grams and skim cow milk is 12 grams. That answers that consistently goes with our option D. Let's do one more. I guess this is a bit easier. Too easy. Oh, yeah. Acha. Next time I'll send you a more tougher one. Okay. Hmm. To make sure they got nutrition they needed while the space, the one astronauts of NASA's Gemini missions were given menus for 3 days a meal. Meal A, B, C on the 4-day rotating schedule. Looking at the sample of food item from these menus, a student notes on day 1, the menu included, yes, what was it? Day 1. What was included in day 1? Yes. How many C's? Cookie cubes. Yes. Good. So C is your answer. Okay. All right. So that's all for today. We'll catch up in the next session, which will be on Thursday. Yeah. So on Thursday, we will be working on the final question time, which is dual passage. Clear? Everyone? All right. That's it for today. We'll catch up on Thursday with the final type of questions from the reading point. Dual passages, there are hardly 4 to 5 questions I'll be sharing. So, uh, Tanushri, this low uploading thing is done by Sir. So, he will be doing it right after the session is over, I guess.